Hey, hey Eve. Good to see you. Haven't been live in a while, have I? Yeah, curly top mop, yeah. What'd you think of my shirt? I was just playing around on Amazon. I think it turned out pretty good. I've tried to make one before and I couldn't figure it out. I guess I'm not very handy at electronics. If I was, I'd know how to share my screen, wouldn't I? Let's see. I think I'm going to order one just to see what if the quality's good or whatever. Yeah, I think it's kind of cute. So I don't know how many people are going to come in here because we're not talking about Summer Wells or Sebastian. But hey, Bob. Hey, Solo Nan. How have you been, Bob? I haven't seen you posting too much lately. Hope your mom's okay. Kind of a scare with that hurricane, isn't it? Is that new one headed towards you? Starts with an N, doesn't it? LMNO. I didn't read the article. I just saw something. Who's Pink Lotus? I don't see a Pink Lotus. Wait. Bob, I'm not having you pop up on my thing. I get all kinds of crap, though. I'll have to look. I just said on Facebook I'll be happy for the day when I don't see posts about the Royal Lodge coming up on my feed. I'm like, who gives a shit? Haven't we read the same exact things for like a year now? Oh. Pink Lotus. Like, what is that? Okay, we'll just let people come in. Oh, Bob, yeah. I'm sorry, I'll make it a point to go over there. I know it seems like I used to comment on every post, and I haven't seen any in a long time. I did track Michael down, though. I see he was just taking a little rest from the circus. I don't know. I don't want to be part of that. All that crap. Talking about other creators and well, there might be one or two creators that I don't mind talking about. Just the annoying ones. Oh, well, Eve's right on it. Okay. Yeah, we need some more. You still posting your polls, Bob? I'll have to go over there and check it out. Okay, there's just some kind of interesting cases here we'll go over because I don't have any other content. Well, I'm going to do the ethics in journalism, and we can discuss how well we think YouTubers who think they're journalists are ethical or not. And I know what I think about that. Maybe I should make posters and mail those out or something. Okay, so let's start here with, I didn't post any polls. I haven't seen any in a long time. There is a Pink Lotus in here? I can't see. Must be somebody that has me blocked. Pink Lotus is a nice name. I like that. Hey, Annabelle. What's up, girlfriend? Okay, let's talk about P. Diddy. What kind of a name is that anyway? P. Diddy's daily routine in hell on earth jail that makes no exceptions. Put a 1 in the post if you feel sorry for him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that jail is supposed to be hell on earth. Despite being held in one of America's most notorious jails, Sean P. Diddy Combs is said to be getting no special treatment at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, a facility known for housing high-profile prisoners due to its prime New York City location. 0, Annabelle. The center, which has been described as hell on earth, accommodates both short-term sentences and I know, Bob. Everybody's always excited to see Bob. I'm sure he'll leave to go watch wrestling or whatever. Wrestling. Accommodates both short-term sentences and pretrial detainees like Diddy. In the past, celebrities such as R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Michael Cohen have all been guests of MDC. Must be a co-ed prison. Exactly, Eve. Why are we even bothering to have a trial? Yeah, his goose is cooked. I don't think his money's gonna get him out of this. How perverted. What a waste. How many lives he's affected and ruined. Commenting on the jail, where Diddy is said to have a sad and lonely existence. That's really sad. I'm crying. Prison expert James Pipe said Combs' time at MDC reflects the routines and regulations set for all inmates. So they're crying because he's not getting special treatment? Yeah, I'll show him some special treatment. As Combs awaits trial, he will experience the daily regimen shared by past high-profile inmates with limited but structured access to basic resources. A free grants for felons report confirms that all were subject to the same strict schedule and regulated recreation times. I don't think there's anything in here that's any different than anybody else. Talks about meals. I think he's got it pretty good. That'll be an anxious trial. Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to the Delphi case, Eve. I did watch that right at the beginning, way back when. And a lot of that information that was posted in the Delphi group at the beginning disappeared. Got deleted. Of course, I think that happens in a lot of cases. A lot of posts have disappeared in Summer's case, but a lot of those were false. A lot of stuff in the Rose Bly group has been deleted too. I don't know why. Okay, now here's an interesting one. LA man wearing GPS ankle monitor is accused of a robbery spree. Officials can't track him. What the hell? After Nasal Warren was charged this summer with carrying a gun in public, a judge released the 19-year-old on the condition that the Los Angeles County Probation Department track his movements with a GPS device. When Warren was arrested 3 weeks later on suspicion of robbing an elderly couple, a different judge let him out again with another provision for GPS tracking. But even with the court doubling down on Warren's ankle monitor, prosecutors allege he went on to rob 2 more people in September and October. In an attempt to track his whereabouts, Los Angeles Police Department detectives served a search warrant on the contractor that operates Warren's GPS monitor. The company, which officials said is paid around $350,000 a month by the county to operate a GPS system, could not determine where he was at the time of the robberies or attest to the reliability of its tracking data. Wonder if they got a refund on that. Detectives apprehended Warren last week, his fifth arrest in 5 months, court records showed. He is pleading not guilty to charges, of course he does, of evading police, resisting arrest, carrying concealed guns in public, assault with a firearm, and 4 counts of robbery. His attorney declined to comment. Warren's case raises questions about how effectively the probation department is supervising pretrial defendants at a time when judges increasingly turn to GPS tracking as an alternative to jail. You know, that's a good point because, you know, with the jail overcrowding and everything, they do tend to release a lot of people with GPS monitors. Aren't you supposed to be under house arrest then, or only leave to go to work or something? I guess if this guy's career is crime, he is leaving for work. He'd already been arrested twice in 2 months on suspicion of leading police on a high-speed chase and illegal gun possession. They patted him down and found a gun in his underwear. I could comment on that. We had a guy that I read, he was trimming trees, and it was his first day on the job, and he said he was putting a U-shaped tree in the chipper, and it caught on his ankle monitor and drug him into the chipper. And the people he was working with were wearing ear protection so they couldn't hear his screams. And by the time they found him, he had both of his legs were gone. I just think that's horrible. Doesn't seem like anything could get under that GPS monitor. I know, my, but you know what? He was in really good spirits. You know, sitting in the wheelchair with his legs bandaged, said he can't wait to get his prosthetics and you know, learn to walk and do things again. And he said, I always look forward to a challenge. Mentally, he was awesome. I would not be that excited about it, I'll tell you. Okay, Katrina Bauer pleads not guilty to her alleged role in the death of Elijah Vu. I thought she was going to make a plea, is the last we heard. I guess once they found his body, she decided that wasn't a good idea. Or maybe they rescinded it. I don't know. Katrina Bauer, the mother of Elijah Vu, pleaded not guilty in Manitowoc County Court on Wednesday to charges in connection to her son's death. Bauer made her plea over Zoom from the Manitowoc County Jail. She's charged with 2 felonies, including chronic neglect of a child, consequences death, and 2 misdemeanors. Elijah Vu's remains were found on private property in the town of Two Rivers in September. Elijah was first reported missing by Bauer's boyfriend. You know, it sounded like, from what they're saying, that they were actually living together at one point, because they said that the camp where he was found was like, what, a mile or 3 from, it said, where Bauer and Vang lived. Now, we were kind of led to believe that they'd only known each other a month, so, and he wasn't even living with her, although she was making conjugal visits. Hey, Prismo. Thank you. Glad you stopped in. Nothing exciting happening here tonight, but trying to see. A month after Elisha's remains were found, both Bauer and Vang were charged in relation to the toddler's death. Now, these two, I don't ever say anybody's guilty before their court, but these two are guilty. Changed my mind. I hope neither one of them ever sees the light of day. In court Wednesday, Bauer was granted a modification to see her daughter as long as it is approved by Child in Need of Protection. Manitowoc County District Attorney Jacqueline LeBray says she will have an offer to resolve Bauer's case to her attorney by December 20th. So apparently they are still. I wonder if they want her to testify against Jesse. What do you guys think? Kind of sounds like that. I can't imagine they would let her off for any other reason. She'll be back in court February 13th. Vang's next appearance is on November 6th. Isn't that tomorrow? I believe it is. I'll have to check that out. I think Ernie Shell's court date was yesterday. I forgot to go check and see what happened there. People were rumored that he was out on the 3rd, but I checked and he was still in custody. Bob, is that a big college? Ern. You like Ern, Annabelle? You'll have to arm wrestle PG to see who gets him. Knoxville College. Do you have any more information on that? Is that a big college? Tennessee's sure enjoying the notoriety of all these missing cases. Not really. Did you hear her say, oh, she wished she was talking about me? Lippy played that deleted live, one of many. And she was talking about me, saying that, she was in jail. Yeah, Facebook jail, lady. Jail. So anyway, she started talking about, jail, like Ernie. Well, if I was in jail with Ernie, I'd go in the showers with Ernie. I would definitely be in that shower with Ernie. Like, what happened to her fiance? What happened to PG's fiance? It looks kind of big and it's a huge fire. Well, I'll have to check it out after we're done here. I don't think this is going to be really long. I wonder what happened. Hell, I posted that traffic, that semi in Michigan that rear-ended all those cars. Of course, the driver never dies, but he killed a bunch of other people. I don't know how you could be driving a semi and not be paying attention to the road. I mean, that's what you do when you're a driver of a truck. You don't take your eyes off the road. What else was I going to say? Fire. Oh, I saw a video on YouTube of... Oh, thanks, Diane. Old black school founded in 1876. Is it still a black college? Like Morehouse? Yeah, I'm glad you could drop in. Oh, that accident? Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there's something else involved there. A lot of those long haul truckers take drugs, speed to stay awake. I'm just speculating. Or maybe he was looking at his phone. I don't know. I don't know how you could fail to see a whole line of cars stopped in the road. But then that's just me. Fire. What was I going to say about a fire? Oh, yeah. I saw this video on YouTube in this house. It was a trailer, actually. Man, was that up in a blaze. It looked like much more than just a house fire. I mean, it was a huge fire. And come to find out, one of those electric cars exploded. I wouldn't want to have one of those anywhere near me. No, my dad said, thank God he'll be dead before we have to buy one. No, they're kind of abandoning that, I think, now. From what I've heard, people aren't buying those cars. Oh my goodness, Diane. 23 violations. Do you think maybe this was arson for the insurance? If they were in that much trouble? Well, now I'll have to look it up when I get off of here. Somebody called me and gave me another case to look into too. It's a solved one, but the mother is trying to get some legislation passed. You know, it's kind of sad, people that lose children or spouses, but they put that for the greater good, to hope that, you know, that won't happen to them. Annabelle, at the college, there's been other fires. Is it abandoned, Diane? I mean, there's nobody, if they're trying to get reaccredited, of course they could still be holding classes, but Split Pea Soup's Revenge. Welcome. Woo? I don't know. Split pea soup. That's a soup I don't really care for. I had it once where it was really good, but that's it. Okay, man. Montana man found dead in tent. Welcome suspect to camp and gave him a beer. This is kind of sad, this one. They were looking for him for a while. His picture was all over. A Montana man found slain in his tent this month. Oh. A split pea soup's revenge that killed. Last accreditation could have been decades ago. Okay, I got something to research when I'm done. A Montana man found slain in his tent this month welcomed the suspect in his killing, a stranger, to his campsite and offered him a beer. A Gallatin County Sheriff said Thursday. Darren Christopher Abbey, 41, was arrested this week and charged with deliberate homicide in the killing of Dustin Jersum, 35, whose body was found in his tent near Big Sky on October 12th. It was a chance encounter at the campsite on the night of October 10th, and Abbey did not know Jersum, Sheriff Dan Springer said in a news conference. Abbey had planned to camp at the site, but when he arrived that night, he found Jersum was already there with a wall tent, beds, and a stove. Abbey, in a confession to detectives, stated Dustin welcomed him to the campsite and offered him a beer. I don't know what's wrong with people. I really don't. I really don't. At some point, this individual struck Dustin with a piece of solid wood, stabbed him in the neck with a screwdriver, and ultimately hit him with the axe. Lovely. The motives of this attack are still unknown. The state crime lab matched DNA from a beer can found in the tent to Abbey. So he did sit there and drink beer with him, I guess. Abbey was arrested Saturday in Butte, around 80 miles northwest of Big Sky. And he confessed to the killing. Jersum planned to spend the weekend at the campsite with his girlfriend. He set up the camp on October 10th, a Thursday, and he planned to pick his girlfriend up from work the next night. He never arrived. The girlfriend and a friend drove to the campsite and found him dead in the tent. Oh, his injuries were such that the person who reported discovering his body suspected he had been attacked by a bear. I remember reading when he was missing, and when they found him, they did think it was a bear. I remember that. Montana. Do they have grizzly bears in Montana? An autopsy confirmed it was homicide, not an animal attack. Oh, he's had several drunk driving arrests, but was released. Held in custody Thursday night without bond. The investigation could take months more. Springer said that after he killed Jersum, Abbey removed items he may have touched or which could connect him to the crime, including a cooler and the axe. He returned the next night and took more items. The sheriff's office previously said an axe, a Yeti cooler, a shotgun, and a revolver were missing from the campsite. How did he miss the beer can? That's what I want to know. Now here's an interesting one. California furry, these furries kill me, orchestrated triple homicide after becoming obsessed with teenage girl he met at a convention. It was love at first sight for a 25-year-old. Oh, thank you, Split Pea. I'm glad. I hope I have a calming voice. It was love at first sight, okay, for 25-year-old dragon furry who fell for a teen who called herself Daydreamer Fox Wolf. But after her parents forbade the two from seeing each other because she was underage, he concocted a twisted plan to wipe them out. Frank Felix, who went by the Fursana NT, met then 17-year-old Caitlin Goodwill Yost at a furry convention, an event for people who get their kicks from dressing in elaborate animal costumes. Yeah, if you don't know what a furry is, you should Google it. Yeah, it's a whole nother world. And not always GP rated either. Felix knew Caitlin and her parents through the furry community, where her mother, Jennifer, acted as a shoulder to lean on for other furries to help them cope with their problems. I'm sorry. Felix's accomplice, Josh Acosta, 29, also had a connection to the family and was known as Brony, a man who's a fan of My Little Pony. I'm sorry. I can't. Felix's persona was a dragon. Yeah, you already said that. Boy, he looks kind of scary. Well, that's kind of interesting, Diane. June 24. Yeah, sounds like there was some trouble there. Doesn't it? Now I can't wait to get up here and dig into it. Okay, Acosta was found guilty on all 3 counts of murder and sentenced to life in prison. After discovering her daughter's relationship with Felix, who was then 25, Jennifer, 39, told her she must stop seeing him. Her friend Melinda Giles, who's also a furry, oh my God, told Daily Mail back in 2016 to protect her daughter, Chris and Jen were like, we don't want you to be friends with our daughter anymore. After their relationship ended, Felix and Acosta, who was then 21 and a private first class in the Army, plotted to free Caitlin from her parents. Yes, Split Pea. Furries are scary. Definitely. It's like a whole nother world. Maybe I should do a live on furries. The obsession, after their relationship fell apart, grew to the point of self-mutilation. Prosecutors described how, in one instance, Felix cut himself in front of the teenager. During the weeks leading up to the murder, he allegedly planned their deaths with Acosta through email. So it's good to leave an internet trail when you're going to commit a crime. You'd think these people would know by now. Don't they ever read the news? Email. At least get a burner phone. The bodies of Jennifer and her husband and their family friend, Arthur Billy Bauscher, 28, were found by their then 6-year-old daughter. Their 9-year-old daughter was also in the house but was unharmed. Oh my God, there's a picture of the furries. Oh, no way, Split Pea. What's their persona? Seems like people are usually wolves or cats or some kind of... Okay, they carried out their plan during the early morning of September 24th using Felix's dad's shotgun, cutting the security lock with bolt cutters. The girl... Interesting picture. Her mom were both in the furry community. Okay, she was 17, he was 29. Daydreamer Fox Wolf. The prosecution stated Felix wrote to an acquaintance, "I might be assisting someone in a murder." When advised by the friend not to go through with it, Felix switched up and said he was talking about an animal. Oh, she was in on it. Acosta was the one who agreed to carry out the murders after Caitlin told him she had been molested by her stepfather on a weekly basis. She would also testify about this in the former Army mechanic's trial in exchange for immunity. Why would she need immunity? The 17-year-old let them in the house and waited in the car with Felix. Oh my goodness, very bloody scene. Acosta shot Bauscher in the head as he slept on the couch, then entered Jennifer's bedroom where he shot her between the eyes as she slept, and finally gunned down Christopher as he tried to make a break for it out the back door. After the couple's young children found their bodies, the teenager was regarded as missing until she was found later. Felix told detectives that he knew she wouldn't be safe if the parents weren't killed. Yeah, these furry things. The furry enthusiast also admitted he knew the kids were home and planned to leave food out for them after slaughtering their parents. How nice. They also knew that Bauscher would be staying the night, with Felix admitting he knew there'd be a third body by the end of the bloodshed. Well, I guess that didn't faze him. Wonder why he didn't wait until they just had just them. This is an article. Wolf. Oh, is a wolf? Yeah, most of them are. Oh, I see your pictures of Split Pea Soup. There's a lot of deranged people out there. It's almost like entitlement mixed with instant gratification, in my opinion. People they want what they want and they want it now, regardless of what stands in their way. Yeah, their first instinct is just to lash out. Are these people raised without morals? Do none of them have any empathy? I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. This is a horrible case. A YouTuber in South Korea has reawakened public outrage. This is horrible. Over one of the most horrific rape cases in the country's history by naming and shaming some of the alleged perpetrators. You know, this is also the UK and Australia. They protect these criminals' names. I think, Diane, are you still here? Doesn't Canada do that too, or am I mistaken? You know, like, what's the little boy? Oh, I can't think of it right now. That the two guys, Jamie Bulger, that the two guys took from the mall and walked him through the streets. Now they kept those guys' names a secret, but they came out. I don't know what the deal is. I'm glad that they're being named and shamed. The Miryang gang rape case involves 44 men, although they said it could be up to 75 men, believed to have repeatedly physically and sexually assaulted 3 girls between the ages of 13 and 16 over the course of 11 months in 2004. Now, this YouTuber has been uploading a series of videos that identify some of the suspected assailants. Since they're not in jail, I think that the public has every reason to know who they are. The videos have triggered a fierce debate, with some decrying them as vigilante justice and others praising what they see as appropriate punishment, given that none of the 44 men were ever convicted of sexual assault. You know, that's a crime. Oh, they know these guys did it. I don't understand. Some of these countries, you steal a loaf of bread and they cut your hands off. Then other ones let you get away with murder. The general reaction has been positive. If the judiciary had handled the case properly 20 years ago, these private sanctions might not have occurred. 20 years is a long time. This is just, let's see. Here's the case. The Miryang gang rape started with a 16-year-old girl being assaulted by multiple boys after agreeing to visit one of them in Miryang, a city in the country's southeast. The assailants also filmed the act to blackmail her. Terrified that the footage would be released online, she returned to Miryang on 10 occasions and, on the boys' orders, brought her 13-year-old sister and a cousin, age 16. That's just sad. It really is. I can't remember where I read that she met them, but yeah, she did agree to meet the one guy. The 2 older girls were raped, while it was never ascertained whether the 13-year-old was the victim of a similar sexual assault. The boys also extorted money from the girls. At least 44 male high school students and potentially as many as 120 boys were implicated in the scandal. When the rapes were eventually reported to police, 3 boys were arrested. After protests from the victims, another 9 were arrested and 29 charged. And here's the bad part, and I've seen this happen here locally too. One of the most shocking aspects of the case was the response from relatives of the accused and many other local residents who accused the girls of seducing the boys and threatened the victims' relatives. This is an attitude from the Dark Ages. Although, you know what? I see it here too still. I mean, in some of these recent cases, even. You know, blame the victim, always. The case took yet another dark turn when Miryang police refused a request from the girls to be questioned by a female officer, and male officers also suggested they had enticed the boys. Additionally, the leaking of information from the investigation led to the girls' identification. One of the officers said, "You ruined the reputation of Mariang. The boys who would be leading the city in the future are all now arrested thanks to you. I'm afraid my daughter will turn out like you." Can you imagine this? One of the girls was hospitalized for psychiatric treatment. The original victim has disappeared. Prosecutors dropped the case against most of the boys, with only 10 formally accused of group sexual assault, and sentencing recommendation of a maximum of 4 years, suspended for 3 years. The judges turned down even those lenient recommendations on the grounds of the boys' age and due to some of them already securing places at colleges or companies. At the end, out of the 44 boys identified, 5 were sent to a youth detention center and none were criminally convicted. They tortured these girls over the course of 11 months. Said they were initially believed to be members of a high school gang. They first met the 14-year-old victim over the phone. According to police, she was raped up to 10 times by 3 to 24 high school boys in each occurrence. At least 44 boys were involved in the attacks over a period of months. One of the offenders stated, "Why should we feel sorry for the victims' families? Why don't you consider our suffering? Who can resist temptation when girls are trying to seduce boys? They should have taught their daughters how to behave in order to avoid this kind of accident." Are you fucking kidding me? And this is why people don't report. Even here. Police also leaked enough information to the media for the victims to be identified. Furthermore, they forced the victims to identify the suspects face to face rather than through a one-way mirror, with the officer asking the victim, did he insert it or not? Yeah, let's not ruin the boys' lives and let them go to college. What's this one? Prison officer sacked and jailed for having sex with inmate in cell. Sounds like one of PG's mods. I didn't say that. I think this is pretty common from what I hear. She pleaded guilty to misconduct in public office for having sex with John McGee, who was serving an 8-year term for killing a charity worker in a hit and run crash. I didn't say that. Although I could. This is in hi, Juniper. Thank you. We're just discussing this and that. Cases in the news, nothing earth-shattering. Data released to The Guardian under the Freedom of Information Act shows 567 prison staff were sacked for misconduct between 2013 and 2018, including 39 for inappropriate relationships with prisoners, of whom at least 16 were women and 14 were men. Watson, who was described in court as a naive thrill seeker, had sex with McGee at least once in his cell. Suspicions were aroused. I'm sorry. Suspicions were aroused because she spent so much time talking to McGee on the wing. An investigation found he had been able to contact her on Instagram via an iPhone 6 hidden inside a PlayStation he had opened with a screwdriver disguised as a pen. Sounds like he was pretty familiar with the prison system. That's just me. They had virtual sex. Oops, I meant show support. Oh. Yeah, I appreciate you coming here. They had virtual sex via FaceTime, and Watson sent him naked photos and a video containing sexual content. She pleaded guilty to a charge of misconduct in public office by engaging in an intimate sexual relationship with a prisoner. That's interesting. Okay. She looks like she's crying in her mugshot. Everybody's a big shot until they get arrested. Okay, here you probably have heard of this one, maybe. A man told police he had fallen off a cliff after being chased by a bear. Now he's suspected of murder. Now, this is in Tennessee. Bears aren't going to chase you in Tennessee. They have black bears. Tennessee authorities are searching for a man who they say called 911, claiming he had been chased by a bear, leading first responders to a dead body. The incident began on October 18th when a man called 911 pretending to be a distressed hiker. The caller identified himself as Brandon Andrade and claimed he fell off a cliff while running from a bear. When first responders arrived at the scene, they found a dead man with identification belonging to Andrade, but investigators soon determined the body wasn't Andrade and that Andrade's ID had been stolen and used on multiple occasions. The dead man has still not been identified. That's too bad. Investigators are currently working to develop a sketch of the victim to release to the public to help identify him. Investigators discovered that Nicholas Wayne Hamlet of Alabama had been using Andrade's identification and that he was wanted in Alabama on a parole violation. They have since issued an arrest warrant for first-degree murder. The sheriff's office is working alongside the FBI, the TBI, and other agencies to identify the victim. Tellico Plains, where the victim was found, is a small town in eastern Tennessee with a population of just under 1,000 people. People say that the TBI and the FBI aren't doing shit in Tennessee, and they're constantly arresting people. Look at how many drug busts and trafficking rings, and I think they're pretty hard at work, actually. A friend of mine works for Paws with a Cause that raises handicapped assistance dogs, and when their dogs fail, they send them to train them for other uses. And one of their dogs actually works in Tennessee with the TBI. He sniffs out SD cards and things, and they can be hidden in air vents or whatever. There's a coating on them that these dogs can smell. Dogs are pretty awesome. Okay, this one is horrible. I know you guys have heard this one. Seattle teen suspected of fatally shooting parents' 3 siblings in ritzy suburb tried to frame brother claiming he was caught watching porn. Oh, yeah, Eve. Oh, that's right. You live in Tennessee. I don't know. I posted that Alaska is actually the state with the most missing people. Actually, Alaska has more missing people than all the other states put together. But yet you rarely hear anything about it. I try to post some of the things. But they say people up there, there's so much land and nobody looks for anybody. You know, I've heard Alaska's a place where people that are trying to run from something head. So maybe they don't have, people actively searching for them. I don't know. The 15-year-old boy accused of murdering his parents and 3 siblings in the family's Washington state mansion allegedly tried to frame his younger brother for the massacre, claiming he was caught watching porn. Yeah, the TBI and FBI are doing good work. Exactly. I think they are. I think they're very hardworking. I mean, you can't judge them by 1 or 2 cases. I mean, look at how many missing children never get found. No one ever gets charged. Look at D.R. Kuntz. I know I mention him in every broadcast. That one just haunts me. Sometimes there just isn't any evidence. That doesn't mean they're not out there working. Actually, now that we're talking about Summer Wells, the TBI actually said that they are looking for tips. And if anyone has any information, to please call them. That's not some bullshit you hear some YouTubers say to get clicks and views, but there is some, I think, things on social media in Summer's case, from people in locals that might be of interest. Apparently, they've never heard of Chad Arnold, so I'm actually going to call and give them that tip. I mean, everybody assumed that they'd already interviewed him, and they said they never heard of him, so. Okay, so here, he murdered his parents and 3 siblings in the family's Washington state mansion, and it is a mansion. It's got 4 stories, $2 million house. The unidentified teen hatched a disturbing plot to stage the massacre as a murder-suicide carried out by his younger brother Benjamin, 13, and be the family's sole survivor. That's always kind of a giveaway, isn't it? When you kill your whole family and nobody hurts you. It seems like it's always that one person. I have never heard of Chad Arnold. I know I'm jumping around here. Chad Arnold, Eve, is a person that when Candace went over to Fred's at 4:30, I was told he lived in a tent at the bottom of Fred's driveway. Now, Fred's sister said he wasn't. Fred has never denied it. Andy said yes, he did live in a tent at the bottom of the driveway. But regardless, Candace saw him and asked him if Fred was home, and he told her no. So then she went on up to the house. So if he was there at the bottom of the driveway, he saw everything that happened that day. Everything. And he just disappeared. Nobody's seen him since. Yeah. So I think along with everyone else, that TBI had interviewed him, and they definitely need to. They need to find him. I don't know, Laura said that nobody'd seen him because his truck was broken down. Well, somebody sees you. I mean, you don't just disappear for months. Okay. Detectives also alleged that the accused teen killer attempted to stage the crime scene to appear as if his brother carried out the heinous act and placed a black Glock pistol in the 13-year-old's hand. Forensic investigators, however, determined that the pistol had not been fired during the crime and that the blood spatter from Benjamin's fatal wound did not match up to how his body was found. Why would you put a gun that you didn't use to stage a crime scene? That doesn't even make any sense to me. I think this kid is very smart. Okay, their parents, it said, were highly religious. Can't remember the sect they were. They were 43 and 42. Strict with their 5 children. They homeschooled them. That was a $2 million house. They received a call at 4:55. The suspect allegedly called emergency services from a bathroom in the house. The 11-year-old sister of the suspect, this is interesting, the only family member to survive the killing spree, said her brother used her father's silver handgun to fatally shoot her parents, her brothers, and her little sister. According to the document, the teen's murderous rage came after he failed some tests at school and got into a lot of trouble. Well, what do you mean at school? If they homeschool him, okay, that don't make no sense. The young girl was sleeping in her room when she awoke to the deafening sound of gunshots. She told investigators that her older brother barged into her bedroom and allegedly opened fire on her, striking her in the hand and neck, and allegedly killed their younger sister with whom she shared a room. I don't know if I could lay there and pretend like I'm dead. I'd probably be screaming, although maybe not. Okay. Yeah, I'll go look at it. I didn't feel comfortable in your chat, Juniper. I'm sorry. I was getting beat up pretty bad in there. But I will go look at it and let you know what I think. I'm anxious to see that too. Her brother then left the room and leaned over the 3 lifeless bodies in the hall to touch their necks and chests to see if they were alive. The girl then pretended to play dead as her brother re-entered the room and stood next to her bed. I'd be scared shitless. She fled the home through her bedroom window when she felt her brother wouldn't catch her and ran to the neighbor's house. So the injured girl, who was taken to Harborview Medical Center following the massacre, identified her 15-year-old brother as the shooter. Sucks to be him, huh? I bet you he was surprised when he found out his sister was still alive. Jeez, these kids. 15 years old. Killed 5 people and tried to kill a 6th. Because he did bad on some tests? I don't get it. Oh, that's okay, Juniper. It wasn't you. I know you weren't watching the chat. Okay. Alabama. Here's a good one. Dustin Lamar Peoples was remanded to jail following his Thursday, October 10th conviction. Alabama man forced 10-year-old girl to perform sex acts so she could play video games. Her parents need to buy her a Xbox. An Alabama man has been convicted of first-degree sodomy and sex abuse of a child under 12. Dustin Lamar Peoples abused a 10-year-old girl for months, forcing her to perform oral sex on him in exchange for permission to play video games on a gaming console. In March, the young girl confided in a trusted adult about the abuse and days later went to Blount County Children's Center to make an official report. She did her best to explain the things that had been done to her using terms she understood at the time. She was innocent. She did not know the common words that adults or even teenagers would use to describe what had happened to her. She spoke as a child, as an innocent child. She told authorities she had been abused from August 7th, 2018 through Christmas of that year. And then they go on to pretty blatantly and explicitly describe what he did to her. He had $50,000 bond until his conviction. He faces 20 years and as many as 99 years for the sodomy charge, noting that the 20-year minimum is because of the girl's young age. He faces between 2 and 20 years on the sex abuse charge. The district attorney says he will not be eligible for good time, nor will his sentence be probated or paroled. Now, see, he gets, this isn't incest, but look at his sentence. Minimum of 10 years, 20 years, minimum of 20 years to 99 years for the sodomy charge. Now, does that make sense that Lawson's son got off with a year for basically the same thing? I'm glad that these people are being, given stiffer sentences nowadays. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Yeah, there was one comment in particular that was pretty explicit about my sex life. I didn't appreciate. Okay, here is that mother. I'm sure you've heard of this. That and her 2 kids that died at Niagara Falls. The New York mom who intentionally jumped to her death into the Niagara Falls with her young children. She threw the kids over the railing first. She did not go with them. Roman Rossman, 9, was the first in the family to go into the water, followed by 5-month-old Mecca Means. This is just horrible. Absolutely horrible. Why would she have to take her kids with her? We're not going into what the witnesses saw because it's still an active case, but it is alarming what they told us. State and park police officers were called to Goat Island on Monday at 9:30 after eyewitnesses called to report they saw a woman go over the falls with her children. You hadn't heard of this, Annabelle? They didn't. At first, it was just her and the 2 children had drowned. And then recently they decided that she had thrown the kids over first. Chianti climbed over a 4-foot guardrail Monday night at Luna Island to get to the precipice from which she would lead her children to their demise. Investigators have no update on a motive or reason behind the act, but are investigating whether a mental health crisis or mental health disorder played a part in the incident. I would say so. The fathers of both children are cooperating with investigators. They said yeah, it's very, very sad. I mean, why not just give the kids to their dads and kill yourself? Obviously, there's a mental health issue here. I don't think there's any way around that. Okay, I just got one more here. And then we're done. Parents of Utah woman accused of killing her husband are arrested after bombshell revelation. You know that thing where it says, friends? I don't know. Friends do something. Real friends help you bury the body? Yeah. I don't know of anyone I could call up to help me hide a body. But parents do, don't they? Like that. Oh, what was the girl that was 9 months pregnant and was going to be induced in a couple days? And her boyfriend? Remember how they got gunned down? I can't think of the name right now. And then the guy went to his house and his parents helped him hide the body and move the van and cover it up. You just ruin so many lives when you do things like that. I mean, not just the victim's family and friends, but your own. The parents of a Utah woman accused of murdering her husband. Yes, thank you, Bob. Savannah Soto. Thank you. It's right on the tip of my tongue. The parents of a Utah woman accused of murdering her husband after he confronted her about an affair had been arrested for allegedly. Yes. Yes, they did help, Diane. After they allegedly helped her clean up the crime scene. Thomas Gledhill, 71, and Rosalie Gledhill, 67, were arrested Thursday on 4 felony counts of first-degree obstruction of justice. Seriously, your elderly parents? Shouldn't say that because I'm almost 67 myself. The couple allegedly helped their daughter, Jennifer Gledhill, to clean her home after she supposedly fatally shot her husband, Matthew Johnson. Witnesses placed the elder Gledhills at their daughter's home over a 5-hour period around the time of the killing. Jennifer Gledhill reported Johnson missing on September 28th, but a man subsequently came forward and told police he had an extramarital affair with her and that she confessed to killing her husband. That wasn't very smart. The man, who has not been identified, claimed Gledhill told him that her husband yelled at her about the affair. The defendant told the informant that she shot Mr. Johnson the next day as he slept in their bed. Why? Just leave him. She told the informant that she put Mr. Johnson's body into a rooftop storage container, slid him down the stairs of their home, and loaded his body into the back of their minivan. She then took her husband's body north, dug a hole, and buried him in a shallow grave. Yes, Eve. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I always appreciate everyone here. And I never have any trolls in my chat either, which is always nice. She allegedly destroyed Johnson's phone, ditched his truck in a different part of the neighborhood, and brought her own car to a car wash where surveillance cameras caught her thoroughly cleaning it out. Police tracked Gledhill's phone GPS data to the exact spot where the truck was later found, but they still haven't found Johnson's body. Why are people so stupid? But I guess that's a good thing, huh? People are on camera, using their phones, using the internet to send email and Google words on how to kill somebody. Her parents were interviewed by police earlier this month. The couple denied helping their daughter clean her home. When their cell phones were seized, police found that the devices had been reset and that any information from before Gledhill's arrest had been lost. It's never lost. It's never lost. You can thank the cloud for that. Okay, so that's it. Thanks everybody for being here. Yes, Steven Stearns. Now there's a case that is very disturbing. Very disturbing. Very disturbing. I don't even know what to say about that. As a mom, she kind of sacrificed her daughter for some reason. And now to find out that her daughter was pregnant and happy about it, yeah, that almost makes me want to cry. So many children suffer from their parents' bad decisions, and I feel sorry for them. So, yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for being respectful and listening to me drone on. And my next live is going to be about ethics in journalism. Should be interesting. We could talk about who we think knows any of that and who doesn't. Diane, not the pregnancy. I don't know. Good night, Bob. Thanks for being here. They found some text messages. It seems like they'd be able to tell, but they haven't released that. But they found text messages where there was a coin, a pregnancy coin, and she texted Stephen and said, "Oh, here, will you get us one of these?" I don't know. There was just talk between them about a baby, about their baby. So I don't know if she was hoping or if she was actually pregnant. Yeah, they haven't come out and said that, but so if you hear YouTubers saying that no, it has not been confirmed. Yeah, that's a really sad case. Some of the cases I can't even read. Gannon Douch, that one. That's another one I can't. State autopsy results when it was a minor. Well, they haven't released. That's probably why they haven't released the autopsy results. But I don't know why they're releasing the text messages. Is he on trial now? He is, isn't he? I haven't kept up. There's too many things for me to keep up with. I try to keep up with Elijah Vu. I got to check and see what Ernie's up to with his trial date. Who else? I haven't followed Sebastian either. It's just too much. There's too much nonsense in his case. And I don't like the circus. Oh, trial is in February? Okay. Well, maybe I'll get up to date on that by then. I just want to know how to share my screen. Then I can really go to town. And now, the Koberger trial's in September or in 2025 too now, isn't it? I'm really anxious to see how that one plays out because I don't think they have a case, in my opinion, from what I've seen. Yeah, kind of looks like he might have done it, but can they prove it? I don't really see the proof there. Okay, so I'll say goodbye again. What day is today? It's Monday? Okay. Everybody have a good week. And I'll see you sometime this week. I gotta go see my dad. And I can't do it up there. Hi, Chapstick. Yes, I do use StreamYard. I'm on StreamYard right now, but the share screen thing is on YouTube, so I can't figure out how to integrate the two of them. But I'll figure it out. Curse with Curiosity is going to help me get me up to date on this stuff. I got my first degree in data processing, but we used mainframes bigger than my apartment and punch cards. So that's how out of date I am. But I can still program in Fortran and COBOL in case anybody needs that. Okay, have a good week. Everybody take care and see you back here. Bye.